head higher for the open, immediately start heading lower. So I hop in the shorts there, pull my stop above this high with a 5R with 5 contracts, and then you could see exactly how much I made on that trade. All right, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is the first time that you're tuning in, my name is Lewis and I'm just documenting my trading journey. Hopefully you guys had an amazing week. It was a crazy week, honestly. I was not expecting the type of movement that we ended up having, but I ended up having a very good week in terms of trades and just learning experiences as well. Make sure you want to stick to the middle part of the video where I start talking about what ended up happening during the specific days, so you get to see exactly what I'm talking about. I don't want to talk too much. I got to get this video done because it's going to come out a little bit late since I'm going to be in Florida when the video is supposed to come out. So this video will probably come out Tuesday or Wednesday. Either way, let's head into the sponsor of the video and then the Discord, and then from there I'll talk about everything that happened during this week. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, TikTok, subscribe on YouTube, leave a comment, let me know how your week went. All right, now this is the sponsor of this series, Techtronix.com. If you want to build your own PC or have them pre-built and sent to you, make sure you contact Techtronix.com. They got free shipping and they got a full 1-year warranty, so make sure you take advantage of that. Use my discount code LVFLIP for 10% off. Like I always say, once you get into their website, you just head into the perfect trading setup, and here you get to see all the PCs that have to do with the Lewis Visuals YouTube channel. I say that the Futures LVFLIP is the best bang for your buck in terms of power to money ratio. As you can see, you see all the parts here. If you want to exchange any of the parts that are in the actual PC, just hit contact them and get in contact with my boy Mike from Techtronix, and he'll make sure that you get the best experience. But apart from that, that's all I have to say for them. Let's go to the Discord. All right, now this is the Discord. Link is down in the description. Make sure you guys join. I do think that probably by the new year is when I'm gonna start picking a couple people to start my mentorship with. I think I'm gonna start with about 3 people and then grow it from there, see how it goes with those 3 people, see how serious they take it. It's gonna be a process to make sure that the people who are gonna take it are actually invested, not just financially, but they are actually gonna do the work, and I'm gonna guide them through. I do still believe that it's an individual journey, so I can't trade for you. I don't want anybody copy trading. In the beginning, they could see me trading just to get an understanding on why I take certain positions, but apart from that, I want you to build your own conviction with your own ideas. Like I said, probably in the new year, I'm gonna pick I'm not sure, between 3 and 5. We'll see how it goes, see how it is with the whole managing part of it, but it's gonna be a process just to get accepted, I guess. You have to be in the Discord for sure if you want to be a part of that, so make sure you guys join the Discord. We just had somebody new entered yesterday and today, so it's still growing. The members part, I think we have more than 42 members. I think, yeah, because as you can see, the members, it says 41 for like 5 people, 33 here and 7 that are active, so yeah, around 40 something. I've been trying to be more active. I've honestly haven't been as active as I was before I went on vacation. I'm making sure that comes back and make sure that I make it a priority for sure. We had some people snipe some shorts today. I took a short today, as you can see here. Today's Friday. I always record on Fridays, so you guys can see the positions I took. Kind of closed early, honestly. Should have left a runner. I got some good profit and I just decided to get out of the market and rest my mind for the rest of the week, especially since I'm going to Florida. I just want to do what I got to do in Florida, take care of business, and come back for next week, because next week should be very, very promising. The back testing, I haven't back tested anything in a while in terms of the trade ideas that I've had, but I have been I have been journaling them on my journal. So either way, I'm getting the work done. I'm probably gonna end up back testing this past week while I'm in Florida, just because it moves so weird, and I was expecting something that I'm gonna talk about later. So stay tuned for the middle part of the video so that I can talk about it. But yeah, let's just get into it. Join the Discord, link is down in the description. All right, we are now on the charts, and as you can see, let me hide all these drawings. This is what the week ended up looking like, with Monday high all the way to a Friday low, and I was not expecting it to be like that, honestly, especially with the dump that we ended up having. I was expecting more of a chop just because I was paying attention to the AMD model, or the quarterly cycles of the monthly. So the first week was the election week and we expanded ridiculously, so I was expecting the second week, since that would mean X AMD instead of AMDX. I was expecting accumulation for week 2, which they kind of did. They accumulated the first 3 days and then reversed on Thursday with the continuation on Tuesday. I was not expecting that move, that deep of a move or a retracement, but we'll just have to see what ends up happening for the next week. I do think that for this week we end up coming to the low, these equal lows down here. I'm not too sure. We have to see how we open up next week first, but that is the week that we ended up having. So let's hop into the trades right away. So you guys can see here, these are the trades that I ended up taking this week. I know it looks like a lot, but at the same time, it really isn't. So Monday we ended up opening and just kind of consolidating, manipulating higher and taking out the high from the previous week. So as soon as we did that, I knew we were gonna take shorts, but for some reason I hesitated since it was a Monday and I wasn't expecting this much movement on a Monday. But I had a perfect entry, barely any drawdown, and I have a screenshot of the actual situation too. I was kind of playing ping pong with the charts on Monday because, as you can see here, we end up having this reversal and then we had an inverse 30-minute gap, if I'm not mistaken. This inverse gap on Monday on the 30-minute. So as soon as the market opened, I was expecting it to dig into that and then reverse, heading towards this order block that we ended up creating on Friday during the third quarter, and it did just that. I was expecting it to dig deeper into the inverse fair value gap or the IFVG, but it just tapped it to the tick, if I'm not mistaken, and then reversed. So I ended up having no chance after that. I should have just took that entry once we tapped back into the gap and then just let it run, because honestly, if I'm using a certain PD array as my entry and I have my stop above the PD array, no matter how deep into the actual PD array it goes into, as long as it respects it, there should be no issue. I think I just got a little greedy and wanted to get a better entry, so then I ended up missing out on that. It ended up just dumping, and I was not expecting it to keep dumping all the way up to, or all the way down to Friday's low, but I was expecting us to bounce off of that order block, go to about 50% of the range, and that it did, and then head lower. I was expecting that low to be taken out on Tuesday. So when it came back down and ended up, actually before even that, once it bounced, I was targeting the 50% but the new week opening gap, and it hit just that and then reversed. And I called all this in the Discord and on one of the group chats on my phone. I forget if I have a screenshot or not. Basically playing ping pong. I didn't execute, and it's fine because it's Monday. I'm not too stressed about Mondays. I like to see them play out before I even get into it. That is something that I've been doing recently. Before, I would just trade it no matter what, but now I'm trying to see how Monday opens up and how it moves so that I can plan out the rest of the week. Not saying I don't trade on Mondays, but sometimes I do and I don't. We ended up dumping all the way to Friday's low. I was not expecting it to dig that deep, but there was a 4-hour fair value gap right under Friday's low, and I was expecting that to happen on Monday. So I took this trade right here on a demo account. I should have just took it on my actual account because, as you can see, ended up coming up. I was expecting some type of move up before I saw that we started to chop, and once I realized that we started chopping, I knew that it was the week 2 or quarter 2, and this would be accumulation. So I knew it was going to be choppy, but at the same time, I kept taking these longer term trades, and that has not forced me, but it gave me what I needed, honestly, because I'm always in the right direction of the market, and sometimes it just ends up reversing. So I'm gonna start upping my size so that I am able to catch these moves and be able to take profits at certain points. Because let's say, for example, you take this trade right here and you take it with, let's say, 2 contracts. As you can see here, 2 contracts, you're risking 137 to make 735 at full TP. But as you can see, it didn't get to full TP. It did get above this high though, which could have been a take profit, and it's not a bad take profit, but just taking that with the 2 contracts, now you're risking 134 to make 346. It's not horrible, but it's not the same. Now let's say, for example, I took it with more contracts. Let's say I did 5 contracts risking 335 to make 1825. That's perfect, honestly, because I could have taken 3 contracts off at that high and let the other 2 run, move my stop to break even, and even if it came back down, I would have already made my profit. And if I would have, let's say, for example, taken my profit right there with the 3 contracts, I would have made 519, securing 519 and then letting the rest run while moving to break even. Now there's no risk on the table. So that is the approach that I'm going to be taking now, going for the low hanging fruit with size and then letting the rest run. You know, unless time is aligned, then I could just let the whole amount run and see what ends up happening. But this just secures money, honestly, because securing that 300 to 500 at that point and letting the rest run, that's just, I guess, the best way to put it. But then we come into Tuesday, and Tuesday I actually woke up around like 6 in the morning, and I seen the market. We came back down to this order block, which was the order block from Monday, and then we had a inverse gap right there as well. We came down and respected the inverse gap. So what I was expecting was for price to, you know, it kind of ran it a little bit, but we came down, tapped it, we then started to pump. I took this trade and I was expecting us to bounce off of there and then head all the way up here before I realized that we were gonna chop for the rest of the week, or at least until I realized that we were in the second phase, which is accumulation, since the first phase was expansion. I took that and then I ended up watching it come back on me. It happens, but then I took this short. I took that short all the way down to the 4-hour gap, and I actually didn't have a hard stop. I just let it run, and then once I hit a certain amount, now I just closed. Then I took this long with I think 2 contracts, and then I thought I was gonna end up going all the way up here, and I guess the broker closed it just because it was the end of the session, and I guess I needed more margin on my account. I thought I could swing trade with the account size that I have now, but I guess I need a bigger size. Either way, they closed it around like right here. Actually ended up saving me a lot of money, honestly, but at the same time, the next day we had CPI. So CPI, I would have still been in the same trade with CPI coming up, but as you see, we came back into this 15-minute, even a 5-minute if I'm not mistaken. We had this inverse gap here on Wednesday, and then we ended up coming back to it the next day during the night session in London, and that was the 2 trades that I ended up taking. Then we had CPI on Wednesday. So coming into Wednesday, I wanted to wait for CPI to happen. I thought CPI would honestly take us all the way up to the high from Monday. They stopped about 50% of the range and then reversed. After that, the real move ended up happening, and this is the day that I messed up on. So I ended up taking this short, and I was in a lot of profit, but I wasn't paying attention to this 1-hour rejection block. Price came down, tapped the rejection block up to the medium threshold, and then from there just instantly reversed. And I saw this in real time, and I was so angry with myself because I was like, it's gonna reverse from here, especially while we were chopping in here. While we were chopping through all this, I was like, it's gonna reverse. I could see it. We touched that, and there was logic behind that. Sometimes you say it's gonna reverse and there's no logic behind it, but I had actual logic, and I ended up watching it come back and take me out at break even when I could have secured the profit and then enter longs, because that was the actual move for the day. Usually CPI is a 2-phase accumulation, so 2-phase move. So first phase was the move up to equilibrium, and then came back down, swept liquidity, hit the rejection block, and then reversed all the way up to the high, and that was the actual move. And I seen this, and I had a chance right here again to re-enter longs, but I didn't even take profit there. So came back up, took me out at break even, and then it was just basically a waste of a day, if I'm being honest, because I could have secured profits on the shorts and then took the long right after. It ends up happening. That is what happened on Wednesday, and this is when I realized that this was week 2 of the quarterly cycle. Since we had expanded the first week, now the second week we're just accumulating, so just straight up chop. This was an accumulation. I guess right now, as it looks, it was the accumulation for all these shorts. I was expecting these shorts to happen next week, but it ended up happening way faster. I did catch the shorts, but I was not expecting it to drop this drastically, honestly, if I'm being 100% honest. But let's move on to Thursday. Now Thursday, I took these shorts right here, really nice shorts, as you can see here. At the open, we manipulated higher, and I saw that we had an SMT at the highs. At these highs, there was an SMT with ES, and at the same time, I knew that we were in the accumulation phase, so this low was now going to be taken. I thought we would bounce off of that low though, and then head to the high of Monday, but that idea was wrong. But this was the trade that I ended up taking right here. As you see, we opened and we just expanded. So you can see we opened and started expanding. As soon as I saw that, I think we SMT'd with ES on this high, or was it this high? It was one of the two, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just take a look. Honestly, there was no SMT, but there was an SMT up here, as you can see. This high and this high. These 2 highs, there was an SMT, so I knew we were gonna end up going lower. Same with that low as my draw on liquidity for the day, but I thought that we would bounce off of that low, since we were in a 4-hour gap right under that, and then head higher. And the initial reaction that I got was actually really good. We got in here, tapped it, we turtle swooped this low, ended up moving higher. I was in profit, I believe about like $300. I took it with 5 contracts, and then price came back down and took me out again. After it did that, I then re-entered again somewhere in here, and then closed by accident. And I put it on my story. I was tight because we got up to this high, which could have been partials, but honestly, knowing myself and knowing the idea that I had, was honestly probably gonna be a break-even loss or just a full loss, because I was planning on holding it all the way up to that high. And the reason why was because we inversed this gap, but it didn't hold. After we inversed this and closed above it, I thought that maybe we would head for those highs, but no, it was just the start of the downtrend for the week, so that ended up being a bad idea. Now let's move on to Friday. At the open, we were just dumping, straight dumping all morning, and honestly, I got up around 8:30 and I seen it that we were around here after PPI, and then we kept going down. So I checked again at 9 and we were around here, and honestly, I should have just took the shorts. It looked so obvious. The open was up here. There was no way that we were gonna drop this low to then come back up on the open. And then once I looked at the higher time frame, it confirmed that we were gonna end up going lower, so I just waited for the best entry possible, which was probably at 9:45 when we came up this high. I actually took a long in that moment too, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, after we swooped these lows, we had a minor SMT. I took a long up to to here, and then I was up about 300 or some change like that, and then it started to come back down heading towards my stop. So I just closed it and decided just to watch. I should have closed it while we were up there once I realized that the draw was lower. Then I re-entered another trade, entered a short somewhere around here, but closed it early, so that one netted me around like 200 and something. And then this was the trade I took after. I waited for the 10 o'clock candle open. We head higher for the open, immediately start heading lower, so I hop in the shorts there, pull my stop above this high with a 5R with 5 contracts, and then you could see exactly how much I made on that trade. 537, risking 105. So my risk is still around the same, but I'm playing with more contracts. So at the same time, like I said, it allows me to make the same amount, risking the same amount while taking partials. So I'm securing profit while having the opportunity to make more, and that's basically what I needed to do, honestly. But I should have also just left a runner. Honestly, I should have took 4 contracts at that. I took it at the median threshold of the 4 hour, and then I should have just let price run after that. Leave 1 contract and get all the way down to where it is now. As you can see, this is the close. But either way, I'm fine with the profit that I made today. I'm not mad at all. Like I said, sent it all in the Discord. Make sure you guys join the Discord. But that's basically all I have to say for this video. That's how the week went. Next video, or this video, is gonna come out a little late, so I apologize for that. Apart from that, make sure you check out Tektronix. Use my discount. Everything is in the description. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram. Yeah, that's the week we ended up having. Hopefully next week we head for those lows. Like I said, I think that we will head for those lows just because we kind of blew through the 50% of the past week. If we start off the week and we end up rising on Monday and Tuesday, for example, I'm taking shorts for the rest of the week after that until we get to the low of the previous week, and then we'll see what ends up happening from there. I'm not calling anything as of right now. It's too early to even say so. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a comment, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.